Hey peeps. If you tuned in yesterday at all, you will know that I said something along the lines of the kid is out all day tomorrow. Theoretically, I'll be productive, but I may also just run away and go for a walk instead because that does tend to happen. Here's what happened. I was not actually super productive. Oh no. Rewind. I did not do the things I had planned on doing today. That's a bit more accurate. I did do some tax things and some accounting admin type things and a whole lot of quietly figuring out business direction things that always I forget this every week, every week. But what happens when the child is away and I have a bit of time to go through my day slowly, let's put it that way, I suppose, is I wind up thinking about things and then going, oh, I could do this. I should do this other thing too. That would be amazing. And then I make plans and basically put my business work in our world to rights. There was a lot of that happened today. On the business side, I went, do you know what? We should have components for skills like the spells do in D&D, but better. And there's this whole system that I have now worked out. And that's one of the joys, honestly, about not having written out the game's rules for anyone else yet, particularly. I can still evolve them because it's still in development somewhat. And this is something that has been missing from the gameplay, actually. And it solves a whole handful of problems, and I'm really quite excited about it. So I'm sure at some point I will talk about that in more depth, but that's what happened with the business thing. The other longer term business thing was I was like, I should get a shop. I should have an actual store, a proper store for doing store things with stock and games that are not just my game and all the D&D and role playing and different role playing game merchandise. People can come and buy stuff, and obviously this is not happening tomorrow or next week or even in the next year or two probably, but I am going to have one, damn it, and it is in the same category of eventually this will actually happen as me hiring a castle for LARPing. Will happen eventually later, but that is now in the pipeline. So those were the businessy ones. And then the other thing that I've sort of been quietly mulling over to myself for, oh God, at least 6 years now, maybe longer, I don't know, is my ever evolving relationship with snacks and healthy eating, which by and large, right, I actually do quite well with overall. I'm serious. I actually put quite a lot of effort into this, despite current appearances, which, by the way, is a hell of a rant in itself, and I will eventually get around to that. Spoiler, involves an undiagnosed food allergy, and that's great. Anyway, that all aside, by and large, I do quite well. Like, I'm not crazy, oh my God, you can't have sweets, but I do limit what we have. And anyway, I also have a child that is growing up, and it's been interesting for a little while. So my solution that I came up with was spice jars. There's like these little, about yay size, sort of jar things, a pack of 4. They're glass with wee screw tops, very nice. And I went, I am going to decorate these. We'll have one each throughout the day, and we can have these, but no more than what's in these. And I can fill them at night, and we can have sweets and chocolates and stuff in these and only in these. And then I went, hey, I could have fridge snacks too. So the long story short, we've got 3 tubs for in the fridge of things that I'm now going to have to fill and prepare at night, which is pretty likely to happen, let's be fair, because I'm already preparing breakfast for the next day. So I'll do those at the same bloody time. And then these 2 junky snacks, And they're really pretty though, because you know what I did? For the lids, so we could tell them apart, I put like, because I have these sticker things as well, like these proper gem pretty stickers. I put our first initial on each of them. So he's got two and I've got two, and they're pretty in our colors, and they've got it's very nice. I'm not going to show you, but they're pretty and I like them. So that happened today. I got those sorted out, and I went to two different grocery stores because I'm a glutton for punishment, apparently. It's not fun and I don't like it, but I had things that I needed to stock up on again. And it was about the time of the fucking quarter where I had to go and get all our like pastas and starches and grains and stuff. So I did that. Yeah. And then I was like otherwise unenthused today. So I did a lot of little bits and pieces and a lot of brainstorming and a lot of like solving problems I've had for a while. And oh, that was the other thing. So I woke up this morning with like the niggling sort of pre-headache, which doesn't sound like much, but I have fucking learned with much trial and error that if I don't baby that a little bit, it turns into a full-blown migraine. I'm like, blah, blah, and I'm out for 2 days, usually. So I was moving a bit slower this morning as well. And I took my medication, Anadin, by the by, works perfectly well for me if I catch it quickly enough, which I did. Lots of water, lots of not really pushing myself that much. Staved off. We're okay. I'm going to bed early tonight to avoid this because lack of sleep is one of my triggers. And admittedly, I was up till about midnight last night following research rabbit trails. And then of course I'm up early because my son is an early bird, and that's fine. I have no moral objection to this, but it meant my sleep was truncated. So yeah, I had to deal with that too. And we had a hailstorm in the middle of the day. I was so excited about that. I recorded some of it falling because the sound was terrific. And that is over on Instagram, which I have now mentioned 2 days in a row, but I swear I don't actually use that often. I only put stuff up on there where I'm like, oh, there's a cool thing. And then I put it up. And it's that. It has no relevance or anything else, but sometimes there's cool shit. So it exists. God, what is my name on Instagram? Should probably figure that out and put that in the description. But anyway, all this aside, right? I was watching multiple things today where we were talking a little bit about what it means to be Scottish and how it's getting equated just now to not being English. And okay, fine, there's a little bit of that. But we have our own cultural identity as well, you guys. And like, honestly, I spent a lot of time watching this going, did the movie Brave not happen for you, Art? Have you not seen Outlaw King? I mean, okay, Braveheart, the less said about that, the better. But Outlaw King was really good. And like, I can remember when I watched Brave for the first time. Now, yes, it's an animated film, theoretically for kids, blah, 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 disclaimer, disclaimer. When she sang the song, I was like sincerely moved. And just the whole sound about it with the pipes and the yep. And you look at it and go, yeah, okay, this is quintessentially Scottish. Like it sings to your blood. And there are so many songs that, like, not just in Brave, in general, that highlight our kind of the beating heart of this country up here. And it's a little distressing to think that people don't necessarily see that anymore, because it's a big deal. Like, I mean, okay, we care a great deal about fairness, about truth, about innovation, but there's like a huge ethos of hard work and hardiness and like banding together in the face of the elements, because frankly, weather, there's so much. So, and I know that I am not the most eloquent person when it comes to explaining this by any stretch, right? And maybe it's even just because, I was away out of the country for a couple of years and I came back and I had enough time to miss it. Even the drizzle. It gets to the point where you miss the myriad types of rain that we have. And the mountains, frankly, the fucking mountains, you miss those. You miss our types of beaches and our forests. And nothing's quite right when you're not home. And like, to a degree, I missed other parts of the UK too. Like Ireland, I hold very fondly. Parts of Wales are pretty. I've not spent an awful lot of time there. I've been all around England, and there's a similar thing for each, but they have a different flavor. And that's honestly a really beautiful thing. But slightly off track here. Anyway, so I thought what I would do instead of waxing poetic about my country, I'll maybe save that for another day when I've thought about it a bit longer and had time to compile my notes, that I would sing. This is the part where if you do not want to hear me sing, run away, because I'm gonna, and it's my channel and I'm fucking allowed to sing. And yes, I'm very nervous about this, so I'm gonna pretend you're not here. We'll start with Touch the Sky, shall we? When the cold winds are calling and the sky is clear and bright, misty mountains sing and beckon, lead me out into the light. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. Where dark woods hide secrets and mountains are fierce and bold, deep waters hold reflections of times lost long ago. I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy, and proud as an eagle's scream. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. That's one of them. I forgot where my key changes were for part of that, so I apologize if it's not quite the version you know, but it's one of them. And I didn't actually look up the lyrics for the other one I wanted yet. Fuck it, I know the song. You can have my version. They might be slightly wrong. Fuck, how does it start again? This is my country, land that begat me. These windy spaces are surely my own. Those who here toil in the sweat on their faces are flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Yet do your children honor and love you. Harsh is the schooling, but great is the gain. True hearts and strong limbs, the beauty of faces, kissed by the wind and caressed by the rain. That one I learned in school, like a bazillion years ago. Point being, these are Scottish songs. I don't think we can argue that any other culture could have sung those specific songs. It's important. I feel like we underestimate it sometimes. But there is a culture. There is an identity here. Identity. And yeah, so in my slightly stumbling way, this is how I would explain it or start to explain it. If you have your own thoughts about this, go right ahead and comment if you want. And yeah, I'll pop back in tomorrow and talk some more about things. But that felt important. So I will see you then.